looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Hey, yeah, driving gonna make it happen. Take the world in a lemon grace. Fire all of the guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. One, two, three, four.
All right, welcome back to Full Throttle TV and the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Tonight, we head to the Tricky Triangle here at Pocono Raceway. Gonna be a great event. I'm Dean Doucette, in the booth with me, Mr. Brad Patterson. Brad, the Tricky Triangle tonight.
Oh man, this is going to be one of those deals that's going to make crew chiefs go insane and drivers not know what they want. I mean, three distinctly different corners. What do you do? Do you sell out for turn one, turn two, turn three? Do you want that speed down the straightaway? I mean, this is one of those racetracks that you really got to pick your poison at.
You absolutely do. And let's get right into our keys to the race talking about that. I mean, track position right off the key. I mean, to be out front in that clean air, really big advantage here. Also a little bit tricky. I mean, you got some big draft here, so you're going to have to fend off some comers. We'll see how that turns out. Turn 2 wall. Guys getting through that tunnel turn with a great amount of speed. Got to be wary of that exit, and brushing that wall could really hurt your night. And of course, pit stops, always a key here. I mean, we got tires with only 3 sets in the garage. Shouldn't be a big issue tonight. But more importantly tonight, Brad, fuel mileage. We got 60 laps here. Trucks can do, 28 to 30 laps. Could be a one-stopper. Could be a bit of a fuel mileage situation.
Yeah, it absolutely could. This is one of those few racetracks that we do have on the schedule where if you're running competitively with the leaders, you can go ahead and get down pit road and not lose a lead lap on this. So some of those guys are going to be very key, and I think strategy ultimately, if we have caution free, could definitely play a big benefactor here tonight.
Check in on the weather here. The weather 117 degrees, Brad. Hot track today.
Yeah, absolutely high. 79 partly cloudy right now. Track temp 117. This track already has a very slick racetrack, especially in 3 and 4. I shouldn't say 3 and 4, especially in turn 3. Tends to be extremely slick. Middle of the corner, definitely off. Seen a lot of loose race trucks definitely in the past here, and that's going to be one of those corners that's definitely going to have to watch out for.
Speaking of watching out for someone, we're looking on Casey McMullen out on the track, and I'm looking at the number 02, Brad. Little different look for Casey McMullen.
Yeah, different look definitely. 02 going to be hard to just put that together with Casey McMullen Sr. But, he's had a blistering fast practice speed tonight. One of those things that's becoming to be kind of normal, if you will, for Casey McMullen Sr. It's definitely something different than we've seen in the past, where he's been generally staying in the back and doing more strategy. But Casey McMullen Sr. flexing a little bit of muscle here in practice.
Absolutely. Kenneth Schultz, we look in on him. Sharp looking in the 91, and we've noticed I wouldn't say an improvement because he's already a great driver, but maybe getting some recognition lately. The 91 starting to show that. Him and the 1, if I can remember correctly, Kevin Rupert, both of these guys, Kenneth Schultz and Kevin Rupert, looking good lately, Brad.
Yeah, it really is. It's a tale of two seasons for a lot of these guys. We saw early on the rookies really making definitive statements coming into the season. Mannix Richey, Sylvain Jolly, all those accent LED drivers, if you will. And they're still definitely within the reach of this championship. But we're starting to see the veterans starting to kind of come through, if you will. You're seeing Casey McMullen seniors. You're seeing people like Sherwood Williford, Jared Carr, Brody Hanna, starting to make their way to the front and really starting to establish themselves and dominating some of these races. So it's going to be interesting to see just what type of dynamic we're going to have here. Are we going to have the old guard, if you will, or are we going to have the new rookies trying to make their way through the field?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a mix all season long, and it's been good to see that mix. I mean, rookies battling with old pros, and some guys in their second, third year starting to come along. This truck series highly competitive.
Yeah, it really is. We've had a couple of key stables, if you will, as far as contenders throughout this entire season. Some guys, missing a few races here and there. When I think of somebody like that, I think of like a Zach McDaniel missing a couple of races, but he's generally in the thick of things, racing and race out. Tim Bills, got caught in some controversy early on in the season, or he'd be much higher in the points. And yeah, you really can't talk about anybody if you can't talk about, Bobby Terrell, on a streak, having a great season like he does every year.
Yeah, Bobby, always one of the best out here. Bobby is just, he's been dominant across all three of these series, and we expect nothing but the same from him the rest of the way. Let's take a look in on our championship standings, and I think you're going to see Bobby Terrell on top, and he's got himself a nice lead. I mean, 63-point lead over Claude Ferland. Very impressive from Terrell, as he's so consistent, so tough to beat. Ferland second, Person in third, Richie Coy in fourth, now tied for third actually. Torgerson, Jolly, Allen, Carr, McDaniel, and Nearrad are your top 10. And we look back down these standings a little bit, and you see you got to be in the top 25. You see Terry Cooper there with a win marked in green. He's currently shown in 23rd spot. Back a little further, you got Blackner and Held still with wins, but got to get into the top 25.
Yeah, and actually, looking at that, one of the topics that we've had the last couple of weeks has actually been that Brody Hanna, he's currently going to be in the 16th position. So he's kind of locked himself into that top 25. It was just a race or two ago. He was right there on the verge, right at that cut line, 25, 26. Had a couple of great weeks, got himself up to the 16th position, well inside that top 25. He's got to be a little bit more comfortable, especially with his position going in to the second half of the season, really.
Yeah, I think he's finding a little more, comfort or enjoyability with these trucks, and it's showing on the track. We've seen him, maybe not be as comfortable in the Cup car and not as enjoying it as much, but I think there's something to be said for these trucks, Brad. People are really starting to gravitate towards the trucks.
Yeah, the trucks are just fun. I mean, they're not overly complicated. They're kind of what I want to say is a little bit more of a driver mentality, on throttle, off throttle, not nearly as much downforce as far as aero and everything like that. So it's more of a driver's mentality and just kind of an old school feel. And that's kind of, what I gravitate towards when the trucks versus, running the Cup Series as definitely one of those things that's different throughout the series.
Absolutely. And we're going to see all of it here tonight at Pocono. Right now, let's take a short commercial break as these guys are about to begin a 5-minute warm up. And by the time we get going, we'll be ready to set our starting lineup.
It starts right here and right now. Let's go racing from Daytona. And Ray Alfalla back to the top of the mountain, and Garrett Lowe pushes the 30 out of the way. He'll come back on him now. Nick Ottinger on the inside, winner of the eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race. Novak will squeeze on the outside.
right, welcome back to Pocono Raceway, where we're a couple of minutes into warm up here. These guys getting it all settled out, be coming in and checking where their pit stalls are and getting ready for this race, man. I got a feeling this is going to be a good one, Brad.
Absolutely. It's got everything that we kind of look forward to. Here we got some right off the bat. We haven't even turned lap one, but we already know there's possibility of a pit stop strategy. Kind of doing the long run, trying to see if we can make that fuel stretch. A lot of drafting, a lot of different avenues, if you will. And these cars are so close as far as times.
Yeah, they really are. We'll be waiting until after warm up to get into our qualifying order here. But the time's very comparable, and it's only going to accentuate when they're in a pack. I mean, how are you going to separate, Brad, with this draft here? Are we going to see the old, the Indy swerve, if you will, where they go down the track and back up trying to break that draft?
I think you might see that for a couple of laps, but ultimately it's going to come down to handling. I mean, with these three different corners being completely different, you're definitely going to have comers and goers, and turn one and turn three are definitely the more of the handling characteristics. But at the same time, I know you're a huge fan of that tunnel turn right there and carrying as much speed as you can, and you could definitely make some moves there.
Yeah, I love the tunnel turn, and we'll see how those guys take it. But those who consistently can get through there with speed are going to be able to make some moves. It's probably the number one spot to make a move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would second that, but it's probably the number one corner on this track that can get you in a lot of trouble on the exit.
Yeah, it's total risk reward down there and two, and we talked a little bit about the wall there and everything, and that's the risk. You're going to carry a great amount of speed. You're going to be a little bit loose. If you touch that apron, you're going to be even looser, and then you got to keep it off the wall as well. I mean, it is not easy, but those who do it and do it consistent are going to have a good night. Check in with Randy McCanny coming down there, finding his pit stall. Here's John Held, part of the Flying Tigers Motorsports.
And these guys just kind of indexing and getting figured out, because it actually is a very tricky pit road. Coming off of turn three there, I've seen a lot of times where somebody might get a little too aggressive. And the problem with one of these tracks is you spin off a three, you might very well end up in pit road off the racing surface with zero caution being applied, and you just got to kind of eat that. So you got to be very careful coming down to pit road speed. It's a very quick and abrupt stop to get down to pace speed.
Yeah, well, the thing is with that is that most tracks you're braking, mid corner. To get onto pit road. Here, you're coming through that corner full speed and continuing with full speed into the entrance of pit road and then hit the braking. It's a much different sensation. And I myself have been burned there, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets burned there tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about it. Coming to the green is another one of those things. Sometime, we got a very large field here, and by the time the lead car is taking the green flag, we're still going to have people in the corner of three.
Absolutely correct. Right now, let's get ready for this event. Let's ask everybody to rise out of your seats, take your hats off, enjoy the national anthem sung by Alicia Shipman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. the hands of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, getting all gridded up here and ready to go. Let's run down your starting order for the Pocono 150. Tim Bills with a time of 54.278, part of wheeling and dealing racing. He'll be your pole sitter. Bobby Terrell, your points leader, will be on the outside of row number 1. Richie Coy and Casey McMullen will start in row 2. Brian Helm, TJ Bartell in row 3, Martin and Hannah in 4, and Person and McDaniel will start in row 5.
Left is going to be Claude Ferland. He's going to be the Accent LED machine. You're going to have Troy Torgerson rolling off 12th tonight. Jason Spear Motorsports, rolling off 13th. Sylvan Jolly, another one of those Accent LED cars, going to run off 14th with Randy McCanny 15th. It's going to be about your top 15 as we got to get ready. We're coming to green.
We are coming around to the green flag here. Back up front, Tim Bills leads him down. Pace car is off. Green flag drops. Bobby Terrell on the outside. Bills inside. Coy and McMullen, row 2.
Yeah, it looks like we caught a little bit of sleepers there. You know, not necessarily the tightest grouping, especially going down the straightaway as you would generally see, but it looks like Tim Bills is going to have the slight advantage on the inside. He's going to be to the inside. Looks like the 4, Bobby Terrell, is going to be able to file right in as we're going to have 2x2 directly behind him as Rich Coy is actually going to be able to clear Casey McMullen Sr.
Yeah, big advantage there, getting that position on the inside. He'll take it. And McMullen, maybe, you know, Mullen's always playing the strategy. Could be some early strategy to kind of back off there from the 0-2 tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing is these guys want to be very careful, especially going into that tunnel turn. You know, you don't necessarily want to be too wide. You can make it too wide, but it's not necessarily the preferred line. Both of the people going in are going to lose a little bit of speed. It looks like we're going to come to the end of lap 1, and it looks like Tim Bills will be our leader for lap 1.
Yeah, Tim Bills in the 77 doing a nice job out here. You know he can be dangerous. Bobby Terrell right there with him. Richie Coy as well. I mean, man, oh man, I mean, I could go through the whole field, but some great drivers out here towards the front. The list is long and heavy in anybody's game right now.
Absolutely. You know, we're starting to get a little bit single file. It looks like probably about the top 15, if you will, are going to be single file. It's not going to be until you get back to somewhere around the likes of 83 of Jason Spear looking to the inside, trying to get underneath the looks like the 27 of Randy McCanny. But right now, everybody kind of content just running single file and just kind of seeing what they have underneath them.
Yeah, and you like to see this early in a race. I mean, we always say if you're faster, it should show as the run goes along. You see Spear there get a little loose out of 3. And I thought maybe the 48 of Adam Newton was going to make a move there. He decided against it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those racetracks so that these drivers can get spread out extremely quickly. And that's exactly what you're starting to see right now. A little bit of battle right now. That's going to be between the 7 of Jared Carr. He's trying to work into the inside of the 33 of Schubert Williford. But he's going to find himself right now with the 08 of Sylvan Jolly, trying to fill that gap and try to get to the outside.
As they go by 2x2 through the short chute, the 7. Wow, making an aggressive move all the way up to the outside. And that's what we said. If you're willing to be a little aggressive there, you can make up
contact right behind him. 27, Randy McCanny.
We got the 83 slowing up, the 01 slowing up.
Yeah,
And there's more at the back. Someone really in trouble back there, smoking.
Yeah, that's going to be the 27 of Randy McCanny. He was going into 3, got a little bit of help, if you will, from the 83 of Spear. Got down onto the apron, up into the fence. Looks like that truck actually is going to have a blown motor as the rest of the field try to get by him without causing any incidents. And we stay green.
Let's see if we can get a replay in on what happened to Randy McCanny here.
Yeah, he was in the 27.
think we missed it here. Let's go back a little bit here and see what exactly happened here. So we got a bit of a log jam in front here. The 83 getting a big run down into 1 by the looks of it. Or is that the short shoot? That's the tunnel turn. And the
It's
83.
gonna be a 3.
Oh, into 3. Okay. Well, I had 3 shots. I got 2 wrong. But yeah, the 83 just getting into them there. And, you know, different braking points. I mean, I like to back up that corner, but it's a danger because of things like this. And that's going to be the end of the night for Randy McCanny. It's so unfortunate. Back up front, and still Tim Bills leading this thing. You see Bobby Terrell, Richie Coy, and it's going to be Casey McMullen. He's got Brian Helm coming in on him here, the 26, trying to defend that championship. He's way up the track. Interesting line from the 26.
You see, he's able to really get a good exit off this. And you saw the 0-2 just kind of get a little bit of loose on the exit of the corner there because he had to put a little bit more wheel in it, where Brian Helm, a little bit higher up the racetrack, didn't nearly have the wheel in it, so had a much better run down the straightaway.
Yeah, interesting line, and apparently a smart one. He's looking to get those big runs off the corner, and at a track like Pocono, that plays really well.
Yeah, the other thing you got to think of is, you know, the 0-2 with those kind of big slides that you're getting from the bottom, you know, might wear out those tires a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting to see just with the 26 if he's going to be able to have an advantage as these laps wind down.
Yeah, it will be interesting as we see Jason Martin making a move on Brody Hanna there. He's going to take that spot or at least protect it. Here comes Bernard Person trying to make that pass as well. Ooh, and that's going to be tight there as the 23 files in behind him, looking for a little crossover.
He's going to be right. Yep, he's going to go for it down the front stretch here.
Man, he couldn't be any closer without touching that bumper.
Yeah, this front stretch is so long. I mean, you just got so long to sit there and just kind of think about it and figure out where you got to be before you got to really slam on the brakes to get that car to rotate. The bottom line is exactly where you want to be, as long as you can keep it. Well, right now we're seeing the 23 not able to be able to float out to that wall, really carry the momentum, as the 8's going to be able to pull right on back by.
Yeah, he's going to protect that spot, and you just see being pinched out is okay middle of the corner, but on exit you can't extend like you mentioned, Brad. Really hurts you there. You see these guys sliding around. Now, we did hear in the garage that it wasn't that big a deal sliding the car, like didn't seem to harm the tires too much, but I don't know. I'm thinking on the long run that damage, that could really hurt you on the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know these guys are looking at that lap time, and if we have 60 laps tonight, some of these guys, I got to think that they're looking for that strategy. They're looking for a one-stop race, so that means you got to carry 30 laps. You know, so you really got to take care of that equipment to have it at the end of the run here. As we see right now, Tim Bill is still currently out front, followed by, you know, the Bobby Terrell in that Ford truck. 0.3 of the second back, and then we got a little bit of a distance. Not much, but then you're going to have Richie Cord in the 0-2 Casey McMullen Sr.
Let's see over on YouTube. We got a little shout out from Mike, shouting out the Gladiators of Racing. He's got one of their fans, man. He's here rooting them on.
Yeah, that's going to be, I believe, Rupert and the 91 as well. Those guys currently, it looks like they're going to be right in the 20th, 21st position, respectively, if you will, and Schumacher is going to be in 30th.
Well, you know, Schultz and Rupert, two guys we've talked a lot about from Gladiators of Racing, and their improvement has been noted here. I mean, this is a tough field, man, and we've got a ton of good racers, and these are two up-and-comers, and we, you know, they're kind of usually what we would say is we're looking for big things out of them next year, Brad, but I don't think they need a full year. They're starting, I mean, they're struggling a little bit here in 20th and 21st, but it's really early, but they've shown that they're ready to go racing now. They don't need that experience of a year.
No, absolutely. And, you know, one thing that they've done the entire season is, you know, they are not one of those teams that fires off really quick. They've been kind of more of a long-run truck, if you will, or as the race goes on, you know, they get better with adjustments and everything like that. So, you know, they might be running 19th, 20th, 21st right now. I don't expect them to finish there. They're generally one of the teams that excels, if you will, the longer the race goes.
We check in right behind him here. We got Terry Cooper Jr. and Stephen Vrooman all over Terry Cooper. Cooper not starting well tonight. Must have had a problem. He started back in 30th place. He's moved up 8 spots, but not used to seeing Terry Cooper Jr. this far back in the field. Seems to me it was similar last week, as perhaps some seat time is hurting him, or maybe it's his qualifying, Brad.
Yeah, just gotta double check that, make sure that it's not a result of any type of a penalty or anything like that. Where no, it doesn't look like it. So definitely just bad qualifying. Actually, he did not get a qualifying time in. So maybe one of those deals where you're just being a little too aggressive and caught the wall a couple of times. So definitely had a top 15 truck. You see him right there on the apron, getting extremely loose there in the middle of 3 and 4 or 3.
Yeah, we actually skipped up to Zach McDaniel, where he is in a fight here with Troy Torgerson, Claude Ferland right behind them with Jared Carr as well, and they're all coming up on the 23 of Brody Hanna.
Yeah, and you know what, that battle right there, Jared Carr in that 7, you know, currently up, looks like 5 positions, going to be the biggest mover of this little pack, as you see Ferland just trying to push the 42 by.
Yeah, this battle continues to rage on here, and this time the 42 a little bit better. He's one of our cars to watch here tonight. Zach McDaniel in 10th. He looked really racy in practice. We'll see if he can get it done. Carr looking really racy back here too. They all are. These 4 are very evenly matched.
Yeah, that time by, though, you saw the 42 being the fastest car, being able to really work that. That's exactly what's going to happen when you're going to have another truck right up on the back of you, just pushing you through, you know, a lot more horsepower. As it looks like Troy Torgerson, he's going to try to get right back by that 42, going to pull to the inside. They're going to be battling for lap after lap, and that's going to only allow the 23 of Brody Hanna just to slowly try to squeak away, if you will.
And, you know, that might have that made the Zach McDaniel go up the track. I think he might have found something up there. That's really working well tonight, that high side through 1 and 2, as you see Jared Carr now making the move on Troy Torgerson. He took the low line, and now it might cost, instead of passing someone, he might lose 2 extra spots.
Yeah, absolutely. While all that was going on, just a little bit further behind him, what we missed is we saw the 1 of Kevin Rupert, and then we also saw the 00 of Vrooman, the 25 of Terry Cooper Jr. Involved in a little bit of slight incidental contact, if you will, just trying to really race for something hard. Stephen Vrooman ultimately off the nose of the 25, was able to gather it back up, but he lost a ton of positions.
We've got to check in on what's happened up front here. Something has happened to our leader. Let's get a replay here. We apologize we didn't catch that, looking around at the rest of the field. You see Bobby Terrell, we're coming into the tunnel turn there, and the 77 out front, and bam, there's the wall. There's that turn 2 wall. That's going to cost him there. And you see it continues after this. We come in through 3. We're going to stay with this replay for a minute here, because Bill's lost several spots, as I think that hit on the wall has severely hurt that car.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is an aerodynamically sensitive racetrack. You know, long straightaways, you definitely can't have a torn up race car, and you're seeing that in 77 Tim Bills. Falling victim right now to the 42 of Zach McDaniel. Brody Hanna's going to line up right behind him. He's going to be all by himself down on the bottom, as these guys are going to just freight train by on the top side.
Wow, Tim Bills, the early leader, early favorite. You've seen the replay. This is live now. He continues to hemorrhage spots. He has fallen all the way to 11th and continuing to struggle. That has got to be heartbreaking for the 77.
Absolutely. I mean, you talked about it yourself, you know, turn 2, very much a risk versus reward. You know, you got to try to carry as much speed as you can, but at a certain point in time, you know your truck's going to start pushing center of the corner and get ever closer to that wall, and you just got to be able to really, you know, it's like you said, man, it's risky, but, you know, ultimately you're trying to do everything you can. And so it looks like right now the 44 actually in front of Tim Bills, extremely loose on the exit of 3 as well.
And what can Tim Bills do here, Brad? I mean, this is one of the few tracks that you can pit and not lose a lap at. I'm thinking he should get in the pits now before it's too late. Take your medicine, get in there, get some of this fixed, try to stay on the lead lap, or at least, with fresh rubber, come out and get back on the lead lap shortly, and just hope and pray for a caution later, because he's down in 15th already. Back up front, Bobby Terrell leading this thing with Casey McMullen in second.
Yeah, I mean it's very difficult situation right now for Tim Bills. Hemorrhage and spots continuing to fall. He's lost over 7 seconds to our leader, Bobby Terrell. Once you get about 15, 16 laps back, even if you come to pit road, you will lose a lap. So if he does choose to come to pit road, he's going to have to come to pit road soon. But the problem with that is really he's got to spend the time in pit road to get that machine repaired to really have any type of a chance here on the racetrack, because fresh tires isn't going to buy you that much time.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, and we hate to see him get burned by that turn, and we'll see. I'm sure there'll be more as this race goes on. We look in on Jason Martin. He's up a couple of spots right in the middle of this battle. TJ Bartell just got a cup win on Monday night. It was a thrilling win for him, fuel mileage win, and he's been looking good here, sitting in 6th place. Behind them, the ever-dangerous Bernard Person tailing this group, perhaps saving a little bit here while he rides around behind these guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no surprise right now. You look at our top 10 and it's filled with veterans. Bobby Terrell, Casey McMullen Sr., Richie Coy, one of the newer drivers, but Brian Helm, Jason Martin, TJ Bartell, Bernard Person. Patient drivers that know, not to overdo it going into corner entry, not to sit there and just save a little bit of their equipment. We're sitting there right now, 3 wide right now.
Oh, and he's got Helm. Martin is into Helm. TJ Bartell gets him. Bernard Person gets him. Wow, we were on that live. That is a big incident against some really good veteran drivers.
Yeah, the 03 of Dale Nearrad's turned around behind that incident. Due to that as well. So, this is exactly what Tim Bills needs. So, one man's, torture, if you will, it's another man's blessing. Tim Bills is going to be able to come down and get that repaired.
You see Jason Martin coming underneath the helm. These two, he's making it 3 wide, no room there. He turns them, and I'm telling you, there is history here. They were into each other last week, and I've heard they were hooked up the last few races. This is not going to sit well in the garage.
Absolutely not. And, just another one of those weeks, if you will, for Brian Helm, defending points leader, fast truck, extremely fast truck, just trying to make his way through it, save some tire, and ultimately it's going to end with his truck and a lot of damage.
Yeah, and more than likely a penalty for the 9 will be incurred post-race, of course. But the 3, I mean, it's not that egregious, but 3 wide through the tunnel, that's not going to work, Brad.
No, absolutely not. We talked about it, at the beginning of this broadcast. Turn 1 is so difficult. I mean, if you just get a little too aggressive, once you get to the center, the truck just does not turn, and you're just sitting there and the wall is coming for you, and there's really nothing you can do but just jump out of the throttle. And unlike a lot of the other tracks, if you jump out of the throttle, you don't gain grip, you lose even more, and it just puts you to that wall.
Let's put up our pit board here as these guys all coming around ready to make pit stops. And wow, I mean, this is not only have we given the lead over to Bobby Terrell, our points leader now, but now pit stops commence. I'm pretty sure everybody will be coming in, and this is going to be really key to the race to make sure you don't make any mistakes here. Martin on pit road being aggressive. He's 2 wide with Coy out there.
Absolutely. And one other thing this does, this takes away pit road strategy. This takes away all of the strategy. Everybody is going to come in here at lap 19. Nobody can make it in. It's still going to be a 1 more pit stop. We think the maximum they can do is anywhere between 28 and 30. So everybody's going to have to come down to pit road again. Looks like Jared Carr all the way through might have possibly missed his pit stop. So costly mistake there for Jared Carr.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Sylvain Jolly also coming through pit road. Not sure what the deal with Jolly was. We look at Bobby Terrell beating off Casey McMullen. off of pit road. And but Carr and Jolly with no pit time, they both missed their stall. I don't know what they can do, Brad. They can stay out and hope for a caution, or they got to come back in. No good choices for them left.
No, there's really not. I mean, you can still play the strategy, if you will. With the caution laps, I believe you can definitely make it, another 10 laps, if you will, to that magical lap 30, maybe even 31, to be able to make it on one more pit stop. You're definitely going to lose time. The question is, will you be able to make it up by pitting sooner and then being on a different pit sequence? I mean, it might be a blessing in disguise. I really don't know how this was going to work out.
Yeah, hard to say for sure, as we'll keep an eye on both Carr and Jolly here as we have another pace lap and see if they come in. I got a feeling they're going to have to take their medicine and come in here.
Yeah, ultimately, I think they will as well. I mean, Sylvan Jolly looked like he actually had quite a bit of damage to that race truck too, so he's going to want to be able to spend quite a bit of time on pit road there to get some damage corrected. As it looks like they're both coming in now.
Wow, super unfortunate for those two, and we'll see if they can work their way back into contention. Both of them very fast race car drivers. Right now on the board, you got Bobby Terrell leading the race, McMullen second, Coy's in third, McDaniel up to fourth, Martin's in fifth, and Sherwood Williford making his way now into sixth place. Sherwood loves this track, Brad, and he's showing it here.
Absolutely, one of those crafty veterans, if you will, and this is one of those tracks where, throttle variance, braking off and on throttle, it's going to pay a lot of dividends on this track. It's a rhythm track, really, as much as anything else, and just being able to work with what you got, because you're not going to be able to set your truck up to take all three of these corners expertly, if you will, or just dialed in perfectly, just because of the characteristics of this track. So it kind of lends itself to the drivers that have kind of been in this series a little longer, or the veterans, if you will.
You see Torgerson and Ferland there. Adam Newton, one of our newcomers here, up to ninth place. He's up 8 spots on the night. Jason Spear rounding out that top 10. Behind them, Hannah Cooper. Cooper's made a move all of a sudden into 11th place. We just checked in and he was in 20-something place, Brad. So Cooper is somehow on pit road, or before pit road, has made up a ton of spots.
Yeah, Cooper's done a great job. Right behind him, you're going to have Kevin Rupert. We talked about that team earlier. He's up almost 10 positions on the night. It doesn't surprise me about Cooper or anybody like that. He had great qualifying speed, great practice speed, bad qualifying. As we're getting ready to go to green here.
Terrell get a great go here off the start. The 02 of McMullen a little bit slow on the uptake, and that's going to allow the 19 to go by, and maybe more as Jason Martin looks down to the inside.
They got to be very careful, going into turn one, not to be too aggressive and really push on the exit, because as you exit this corner, the track gets very narrow as everybody kind of tries to get into the same lane here. It looks like the 02 is going to push the issue and try to get by. Again, Jason Martin going into the tunnel turn.
Yeah, he's going to try and take this spot right back here. Dangerous tunnel turn. The 02 looked pretty good there. A little high on the 9 after he had some contact before with that caution. He was a little more tentative. Here comes Claude Ferland trying to take that spot away from Martin as well.
Ferland had a great start there. Going into that restart, he was shown in the 7th position. He's currently up battling for the
oh, we got a wreck.
Caution is out. Caution
it's
is
a
out.
big one. Looks like Cooper Jr. flipping over. You got Solari, Richet's involved. Newton's involved. My goodness. Let's see if we can get a quick look in on this replay. You see here, Mannix Richet getting a little bit loose there. Oh, it's in front of them. Kind of missed it there, at least I did. So that looks like, I hate to say it, that looks like Martin again. Is it, in fact, Martin? No, that might be the 8. Bernard
Person?
Is it Person? No, it's well ahead of them.
Let's see if I can find it, but yeah.
Here we go. I got around what happened. It's around Adam Newton. So we got Newton on the outside, Cooper Jr. on the inside. Newton gets loose down into the 25. The 23 makes it through, but the 91 gets collected, and Solari later crashes as well. Wow, that is not good. Really bad news for a lot of guys. Looks like Palicki's on pit road. Cooper Jr. You got Mannix Riche down here. Newton, Schultz, both in that accident. So unfortunate for that team. Bartel, Lane Allen down here. Brody Hanna coming into pit road here.
Yeah, I don't know if we're able to, if we would be able to pull it up, but you know, the vantage point right there from the 23 of Brody Hanna, I mean, pretty much shows it all. I mean, as far as what happened on the exit of the corner, you just see the 48 get a little too loose, come down and collect that 25, and then ultimately go back up across the track into the wall and collect just kind of a log jam, if you will.
Well, let's just see here. I'll back this up here. And what do you think? Cockpit cam of the 23, Brad?
Yeah, it's right in front of them from kind of center off. You just see it all.
All right, here we are riding along with Brody Hanna. And right in front of him is going to be our incident. A little wiggle out of the 48, loose off, bam, he's down and around. Brody Hanna gets through, and he remains safe from there on in.
I think he got a little bit of contact in the nose. He did come down pit road to get a little bit of repair and whatnot. But ultimately, you know, heads up, being able to get on the binders, if you will, and really avoid what would have been, you know, catastrophic contact there in front of him.
Definitely catastrophic stuff. So a couple of the winners here on this incident are going to be Jared Carr. He's now shown in 14th place. We know he missed his pit stall. Also, Jolly in 18th now. He missed his pit stall. So those two are going to benefit from this caution a little bit here. There's someone else that kind of won in this all. I can't remember who that might be, though.
I think it's going to be just those two for the most part. I mean, you know, give it a tilt of the cap, if you will. We talked about him earlier to that one truck of Kevin Rupert. You know, we talked about him being one of those guys that generally is more of a longer run truck, if you will. Currently shown in the 10th position, started 24th, so plus 14 positions on the night. You know, doing, you know, making me look good, if you will, saying that he's a longer run driver, doing exactly what he needs to do. So we appreciate that. Rob Shoemaker, he's going to be up there, 13th position, plus 13 on the night. So that team doing exactly what they need to do is try to make their way back to the front. Dale Murat, I say, would be another one of those drivers that actually benefited from that one as he was involved in that first wreck.
Guys who pitted under this caution: Ballard, Hanna, Person, Palicki. So those guys going to be have a slight advantage here as we go. We'll see. You know, even one lap, 2 laps is it could be big here at Pocono.
I was surprised that the 11 didn't come down pit road. That truck still massively with some damage on it. Didn't take the opportunity to come down, even to just get a little bit more repairs. And looking at that truck, it just is not going to flow very well aerodynamically.
Absolutely. Let's get a look in on Tony Solari here. And you see the damage there on the vehicle. All kinds of damage on the left side. Not really too beat up, though. He might think he's all right, but damage model a little different these days. And from first-hand experience, I can tell you damage can sneak up on you and cause some problems, especially with the engine overheating. Right now, we come out of turn 3. It's going to be Terrell, Coy, McMullen, and Martin.
Green.
This time McMullen with a great start on the low side, but Coy starting in second, doing a great job up high. He's going to try and hold that spot as McMullen pushes Bobby Terrell down the straightaway.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give advantage to the bottom right there, Bobby Terrell and the 0-2 Casey McMullen. The biggest thing here is Casey McMullen going to be able to hold the bottom and power out of it and get stuck, or whether or not he's going to be able to be stuck right there on the inside of the 19. Casey McMullen, thinking about it, might even possibly try to do a little something going here into the tunnel turn.
He's definitely going to try and hold that inside here. Coy on the outside. Ooh, almost contact. Coy up a bit. They're going to continue side by side. Behind them, you've got Ferland fighting along. There's Martin in there in the sandwich. All these guys fighting tooth and nail. What a race back here for second spot, I should say.
And they're getting close right there. Jason Martin gets to the wall, almost tags the wall, was luckily able to slide right in front of the 42. I don't think that was by design. I think that truck just got a little bit loose on him and had to push it all the way to the wall. We're still going to be 2 by 2 going into turn 1 here. It's going to be Casey McMullen Sr., the 19 of Richie Coy, Jason Martin trying to capitalize as well.
Yeah, McMullen going to slide up in front of Coy, but Coy looks down. Martin hasn't learned. He's going to go 3 wide again into the tunnel.
This will not work. 3 wide into the tunnel will not work. He wisely backs out of it. You know, the 42, Daniels decides he doesn't want any part of this. We're still 2 by 2 up front. Ultimately, it's going to be 0-2, Casey McMullen Sr. pulling through. 42, Zach McDaniel now working on the 9 of Jason Martin.
He's coming in hard there through 3. He's going to try and take it away from Martin. Martin on the high side, powering off. And these two are going to drag strip. All this racing has allowed Bobby Terrell to kind of walk out to a lead, but we stick with the battle. Martin and the 42 behind them. Sherwood Williford slipping back a few spots. Has inside position here, but he's got all kinds of guys he's battling as well.
Yeah, Ferland's going to be right there too. He's going to be looking for any type of an opening, but that truck has not been handling very good. In 1 or 2, he's been loose every single time. The back of that truck kind of wavering as we're going to be 2 wide going in the tunnel here.
Wow, what racing here. McDaniel down low, Martin up high. McDaniel powers through. Martin a little bit, tight, loose. I'm not sure on the high side there. Ferland comes down to his bumper. He's looking for this spot.
Yeah, it's definitely not over. We're going to still continue this. 44 Claude Ferland dives to the inside of the 9 of Jason Martin. You're going to have Troy Torgerson right behind him. Ferland not going to be able to have that exit speed. You see just how much it hurts him not being able to go to the wall as the 98 of Troy Torgerson is going to take advantage down straightaway.
And Ferland smartly files in, but Spear going to try and take that low side on him. Looks like Ferland gonna sort that all out. So exciting racing there. Looks mostly sorted out. We look back to Williford, Vrooman, Carr, all back here as Jared Carr back up to 11th spot after falling to, high into the 20s after missing his pit stall. He might be all pumped up now after making a good recovery. He's gonna look underneath of Stephen Vrooman, not quite able to get it done yet.
Absolutely, it's continuing to work very difficult. These guys lined up single file right here for the most part. Talk about a Sunday drive. That's going to be that 4 at Bobby Terrell. Put about a little bit over a second gap on the 0-2 of Casey McMullen Jr. Able to do exactly what he wants. That truck handling very well. Able to really put it wherever he needs to.
Here comes Sylvain Jolly, right with Jared Carr in making that mistake. He's got no door on the right side of his car, Brad, but he's still doing good.
Yeah, these guys continuing to battle hard. Right behind that, you're going to have, looks like the 77 Tim Bills. Tim Bills able to get a lot of that damage taken care of, as he's going to actually be to the outside of Sylvain Jolly in that 08. He's going to try to be able to make it back by, as you see that truck trying to work on the outside. Sylvain Jolly not handling too well on the inside, having to tuck right back in line. 66 behind him, and the 03 of Dale Nearat making his way back up.
As that fight rages on, Bobby Terrell has walked out to a 1.4 second lead over Casey McMullen. Richie Coy right there. Zach McDaniel now right in contention in 4th place. Jason Martin hanging on to 5th place. These top 5, I mean, these four behind our leader, all pretty close together. Then it's Troy Torgerson, Ferland, Spear, Williford, and Vrooman and Carr side by side.
Yeah, Carr having a great run right now, trying to make up from that lost time, if you will. Working the inside of Vrooman. You know, these guys have been at it tooth and nail, doing exactly what they need to do. Jared Carr being able to hold down the fort, if you will. That truck looks very good on the bottom side. Oh, contact.
There was contact. The 7 giving a little nudge to the 00 as he's hunting for that spot. You know, that was a very slight contact. That's pretty hard racing. I like it there. But a good job by the 00 of Steven Vrooman keeping that under control. You know, and I was going to talk about Vrooman. He looks pretty stout here tonight. You know, he hasn't had the greatest finishes all season, but here tonight looking pretty good. In 10th place, but he's way up the track. Carr's got a big run on him here.
Yeah, that's one very dangerous spot on this racetrack. You know, we talked about how much that tunnel turn can be very dangerous. Jared Carr is going to make his way to the inside. Vrooman's almost going to have to just roll out of the throttle and just, you know, give it to him at this point. You see that's exactly what happens. But turn 3 is one of those very difficult places because every driver just, they let out at a different spot. They hit the brake at a different spot. So you're really guessing on the guy in front of you when you think he's going to go to the brakes.
You see Rupert was thinking about it, but again, off of 3, could not hold that low line with speed. He'll have to fall into 11th or 12th and wait for another time. So we jump around a little bit. We look ahead to, you know, this is Martin in 4th place, McDaniel 5th. Behind them is Torgerson, Ferland, Spear, and Williford all fighting it out here.
Yeah, everybody opting to kind of cooler heads prevail right now as the guys run single file. They're just going to try to get as much draft right now as they can, kind of keep everybody within arm shot, if you will, as far as trying to be able to make something happen. Everybody knows one more pit stop will definitely have to happen in order to finish this race. So green flag pit stops will be imminent, provided no caution. Obviously, right now the biggest thing is just be able to hit your marks and get the lap time that you need.
So speaking of pit time, I mean, pit stops around, you know, lap 18, lap 20 in there, a couple of caution laps. But if you split it in half, you're looking at pitting at lap 40. Most guys, it'll just be too soon for them. They'll want to stay on the track. What do you think, Brad? Get in that pit early on lap 40 and bam, you know, maybe even now, and see if you can't get yourself, you know, a big lead for after everybody pits.
This is one of those tracks, you know, we talked about it earlier, the draft. The draft is so important here. If you go in, you know, but you go in alone at a big track like this with zero drafting help, even with fresh tires, you might not be running as fast as some of these guys with a little bit worn out tires because of the draft. So you do want to go in as soon as you can. I'm thinking probably, like you said, 40. Most of these guys are probably going to be looking at 45. But you don't want to come in by yourself. You want to come in, or at least come out, with having a little bit of draft. And, you know, let's throw it out there more. I don't think it's going to happen, but a 2 tires pit stop, maybe, possibly.
Maybe that's a good call too. Little maybe gas and go at the end. I don't know, but strategy is going to be big here. We looked in on Sherwood Williford and Jason Spear. Spear coming out now, looking on the inside of Troy Torgerson. Jason Spear is on the move.
And Spear having a great run right there with him as well. It's going to be that 33 of Sherwood Williford. Jared Carr is going to be right there as well. So you got to sit there and think that Spear's going to open the door. It's going to be a matter of whether or not Williford's going to be able to, you know, fill it as well and walk through it. You see right there, Spear continuing to have a great run off the turn. Just doesn't have the likes of Sherwood being able to push him. The outside line is going to prevail down the straightaway, but Spear's still going to have the advantage going into 1.
Maybe it's, I mean, a little bit tough with no draft help when the other guy has draft help. Spear down low. Here comes Williford on the high side, and it looks like that high side is going to prevail. So Spear, fast car, bad positioning right now, going to cost him. Here comes Williford to the inside.
And that kind of, we were just talking about it. You don't want to come out here all by yourself, even with 4 fresh tires. It'll be great. You'll be able to see your marks every single time. But we saw just right there how much the draft or somebody behind you going on that long straightaway just helps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tricky for sure, but 26 to go. The short pit is open. I personally, if I'm running from 5th on back, heck, maybe 3rd on back, I'm pitting now. You know me. I like to do something different, Brad. If you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. Get in there, try something. That's my take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a 4-tire set limit, so we don't have to worry about, running out of tires. You can come down, you can pit early. Even if the caution does come out, you're still going to come out on the lead lap, because as long as you're in the top 5, top 10, probably you're going to come out on the lead lap. You have to pull away from our leader. If the caution does come out, you still got a set of tires to work with.
Let's take a look in on our time delta here between Bobby Terrell and Casey McMullen. You can see over the last 5 laps, we've gone from 1.3, last 6 laps, a 1.3 down to 0.9. Now the fresh data from 1.1 to 0.9. McMullen starting to catch him. Bobby's slightly faster that last lap, but McMullen is reeling him in.
And as he gets a little bit closer, it's just going to help him even more, because he'll start picking up that draft from that Ford truck in front of him. And you can definitely see, a little bit of struggle. Maybe the tunnel turn, maybe got caught, or all of a sudden overdid that corner. The truck kind of pushed in the center. It's going to do exactly what it needs to be. And as Casey McMullen Sr. gets a little bit closer, he's going to start getting a free ride on the straightaways off the back of that Ford.
And you just see when we look at the delta between McMullen and Coy that these top 2 are just distancing themselves from 3rd place right now. They are really outclassing everybody, or outspeeding everybody, I should say.
Yeah, Coy's got a mirror full of that 9 of Jason Martin right now. He's looking behind him more than he's looking in front of him right now.
Absolutely. Martin having a heck of a run. Did have that early incident with the 26, but he does have a fast truck. He's going to look to the inside of the 19 here. 19 taking a very high line through that corner. He's going to get a decent runoff, but through the tunnel here, I don't know, could be a move made. Martin takes a little peek, but holds on. A little conservative.
Yeah, you see him push through the center of that corner there. Lost a little bit of traction there in between 3. He's going to go in 3, going to look to the bottom, trying to see if he can rotate that truck, see if he's going to have enough power on the exit. As it looks like the 8 of Bernard Person going to pit road. Ultimately, that motor is expired in that machine, so he's going to have to take it on pit road and retire for the night.
Yeah, that's a shame for him. Back up, you see Jared Carr just in front of Jason Spear. We got our pit board up. No takers yet. It looks like McDaniel, actually. Zach McDaniel has pitted. Love the call from the 42. So one of our better trucks has come in on lap 36. That's 3 laps ago. He definitely, in my mind, will be the race leader once these pit stops filter out. It's a matter of whether he can hold that lead.
Well, he is extremely loose, even right now, fishtailing it off of 3, so he is trying to get every single thing he can out of this truck.
He absolutely is trying to get it all. Let's just look in on our last lap times here and see if we can pick up McDaniel's last lap. McDaniel a 55.25 to the leader's 56.60, so he's a 1.4 seconds faster than our leader per lap right now, and that's going to play big because we're on 21 to go. Now if you're going to split it even, now's the time to come in, but I got a feeling these guys are going to go a little longer than they should, and this is really going to play right in to the 42's hand. I really love what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. The 42 also, he's got a lapper in the 14 of Lane Allen a little bit further up the road, so he's actually going to get a little bit of benefit from the draft right now from that 14. Unfortunately, the 14 not running the speed as we see right now. The 42 streaking by the 14. He's going to be able to put him a lap down, or I should say get by him. But now he's going to be all by himself. He's not going to have any help in front of him. You know, that last time Zach McDaniel pulled a 55-1 to Bobby Terrell's 56-7. So again, over a second and a half faster than Bobby Terrell. What is he going to do this next lap, and how much? You know, Bobby Terrell is definitely losing speed as we actually looking. Casey McMullen Sr. starting to reel him in a little bit more, currently about 0.7 of a second back.
Let's just look in as you see that gap continuing to come down, now at 0.76. So, you know, it's small increments, but now he is in the draft. So he will get that benefit down those straightaways. And you see the speed, the 02 coming through turn 2. Unbelievable, the speed he's carrying there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my opinion, Jason Martin, Claude Ferland, Sherwood Williford, Jared Carr, you come this time. It looks like
here comes
the 02.
McMullen. I love the call. First in for McMullen. Great job by him.
Yeah, it looks like Martin behind him is going to come as well. Ferland's going to come. The 33 of Williford is going to. These guys make me look good.
They do, but the guy I want to see if he makes me look good, that's a 42, Zach McDaniel. He's out here boogieing around at 1.5 seconds faster than the leader. He should come out with the race lead after Bobby Terrell's pits. We get on Bobby Terrell. We expect him to come down this time by.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that 42, he's made up 5 seconds on the leader just in 3 laps right now. He came out on pit road. He was about 44 seconds behind our leader, currently 39.5. So definitely he's been making up great time, 38.5. You're going to see him. He's going to be going into turn 1 right now. Casey McMullen Sr. is going to come out right behind him. So he will be our eventual leader. The question is he going to have enough to hold off Casey McMullen Sr. in a couple of laps?
Don't think he's got a big enough lead to hold off the likes of McMullen for 18 laps, but it was still a nice play. I like it. We'll see how it plays out. Terrell's in, Spear is in, Vroom and Jolly all on pit road. It's going to relinquish.
Jared Carr still out on the racetrack, though. He's going to have the lead. Valuable bonus points right now in a tight chase championship. Something that might definitely be needed. We saw him. He was one of the last cars to pit on the last pit stall due to the fact that he missed pit road. You got to think he's going to be one of those guys that tries to run it a little bit longer.
Yeah, him, Bills, Nearad, Hannah still out on the track praying for a caution. Zach McDaniel, there he is. He will inherit the lead when these guys pit. If they do in fact pit, nobody's considered they could be milking the gas tank. Casey McMullen right there on your screen closing in already. Bobby Terrell has lost 2 seconds to the new perhaps leader at some point, Casey McMullen.
Yeah, I don't think Carr or any of them have more than about 5 additional laps. I think everybody will have to come to pit road by lap 50. I think caution came out around lap 19. We estimated anywhere from 27 to 30 laps. That's going to put us right there in the range of 48 to 50. So I believe everybody's going to have to be in pit road within the next 5 laps. It's just going to be a matter of how much they're going to be able to, get away with, if you will, and if a caution does come out.
Yeah, super interesting. 17 to go here. The 42, Zach McDaniel, the leader out of the guys who pitted. Jared Carr, your race leader in the 7, trying a little strategy. He might be coming in here, looking a little slow through the corner. Yes, he is going to come in.
I'll tell you what, that delta, if you will, from the 42 to the 02 is Zach McDaniel, Casey McMullen. Zach McDaniel had about a 2.5 second lead over Casey McMullen on that first lap. Casey McMullen has put it down to about a 1.5 seconds right now. Zach McDaniel, last lap, a 55.5 to Casey McMullen Sr. So 55.1. Casey McMullen Sr. definitely on the move, catching to the back of that 42.
Yeah, he's coming in a hurry. As you can see there, the gap down to 0.4 seconds. McMullen is there.
I got to applaud Tim Bills right now, currently our race leader, trying to just make something out of a bad night. Ultimately got caught in a little bit of incident earlier, got in the middle of the exit of 2, damaged that race truck, just trying to hold on, get anything he can right now, stretch it as long as you can. Maybe you'll get that caution. Dale Nearad, same thing, involved in an earlier incident, just trying to make something out of it.
Yeah, these guys doing all they can. I love anything different. They're going to stay out. They're going to hope for a caution. And I think they should milk this tank dry doing that. There's really not much to gain from pitting right now.
Yeah, not to jump away from that, but the 0-2 of Casey McMullen Sr. has made his way past the 42 of Zach McDaniel right now. Bobby Terrell, he's going to be the next car in line to challenge the 42 McDaniels. But right now, it's going to be a difference of about 2 seconds, if you will, from McMullen Sr. to Bobby Terrell.
This is what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to McMullen and Terrell, and who can hold off who, or if McMullen can hold off Terrell, who's charging. Terrell is closing every lap here, but it is not that significant amount.
I believe Terrell's got maybe 2 or 3 lap newer tires.
We'll check in on that. I believe it was only 1 though. Let's see here. McMullen on 41, Terrell on 42, so 1 lap fresher. It's still big. It's a big track, and heck, you could probably do 2 or 3 laps at a short track here, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about earlier, the benefit right now, Bobby Terrell, he's drafting off of Zach McDaniels. You look at the 0-2 of right now, Casey McMullen Sr., he's got nobody in front of him for quite a while. So all by himself, where right now, Bobby Terrell able to draft off of a still very fast Zach McDaniel.
Yeah, McDaniel is still very fast. This is going to hurt Terrell. Terrell down into the tunnel turn on the low side. We'll see if McDaniel surrenders. He does surrender it. Classy move by the 42. So there goes Bobby Terrell on by. Now sets his sights on our, well, perhaps leader at some point, Casey McMullen. Right now, it's still Tim Bills. 13 to go. Bills leads this thing. Nearad in second, and Hannah in third. Hannah, though, already under, Casey McMullen's sights here, and McMullen going to get the benefit of the draft off of him.
Yeah, and Tim Bills just had a moment there in the middle of the tunnel turn. Could not get it to turn. Had to get completely out of the throttle. Almost put it back into the wall. The nice thing, though, is if you are Tim Bills, Daryl Nearad, or Brody Hannah, enough laps have gone by where if a caution were to come out now, everybody, I think, would still come to pit road to get 4 fresh tires.
There goes McMullen by Brody Hannah down into the tunnel turn. Little bit loose there, not the cleanest through there. Brody Hannah. There's Bobby Terrell. Now he's going to get a little draft help from Brody Hannah.
Yeah, it's a matter of these guys going through the field, just kind of leapfrogging, if you will. Casey McMullen Sr. still a long ways to go to the next driver. It's going to benefit Bobby Terrell being able to pull up on the back of Brody Hannah, but at the same time, we're still waiting. Tim Bills still circling this racetrack, and besides that, you're going to have Dale Nearad still working his way through as well. So anything can still happen as we got, looks like about 10 laps to go here.
Yeah, and I mean, Bills, he has still got 14 and a half seconds on Casey McMullen, 12 laps to go. He's only got to be, less than a second slower than Casey McMullen to hold on. That's if he could make it. I can't imagine he can, but if he's clutching it, I mean, maybe we'll hop on board here with Tim Bills and just try and see if he is in fact clutching it.
Yeah, I think he's got maybe a lap, 1 to 3 laps, if you will, before I think he's going to have to come to pit road. But it does put in a bit of strategy here. He can sit there and he's only going to have to take a limited amount of fuel to be able to make it to the end. And this ultimately could be overall a net gain for him, if you will.
I don't really think he's clutching it. Hard to tell from the broadcast booth, but I think he's just being a little easy on it.
Yeah, I just don't think there's not enough. I mean, I think he's going to be 10 laps short, maybe get it to 8 laps. So, I mean, clutching is just not going to help. He's just right now looking for a caution.
Yeah. Something happened there, Brad. We might have lost Brad
nope,
moment.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just thought something happened there. You seem to like an incident might have happened. Right now, Bobby Terrell is closing in on Casey McMullen. Let's look at that delta one more time. And, you know, actually, it's not changing much from 1887 to 1833. So, I mean, this is not enough of a gain here, and they're kind of trading laps here. Who's faster? McMullen really in the driver's seat. He undercut Bobby, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely, doing exactly what you need to do, and that's one of those things that's uncharacteristic, if you will, from the O2 right there, Casey McMullen. Generally, Casey's the guy that's going to let it run the longest. He's going to run that tank out until it goes dry. Tonight, he's going to undercut us. It sounds like our leader, Tim Bills, in the O3 and Nearad having to come to pit road this time. This will relinquish the lead over to Casey McMullen Sr.
Indeed it will. The 77 is in. Dale Nearad is in. Here comes Casey McMullen, your new race leader. So McMullen now has to fight off Bobby Terrell. Now we've seen Casey McMullen get loose out of one of those corners. I'm sure that delta has changed. Let's look in on it again. And you can see there it's come down by a tenth and a half in Bobby Terrell's favor. The O2 has got to have smooth laps here, as you see him kind of drifting down the track a bit, trying to break that draft all he can.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to sit there and kind of start thinking about things like that. You know, you're the leader. You know, Casey McMullen Sr., he's executed tonight perfectly the strategy so far, but what he's got to do is he's got to click off those laps. He's got to just run them practice laps, hit his marks every single time. You know, make sure that the delta, if you will, to Bobby Terrell tries to stay the same as we got about him. There's 7 laps to go, and he's just got to make sure that the smooth 7 laps that he can do is you see him just kind of ducking down to the inside, not trying to give the Ford truck any draft off of him.
It might be too late for that. Terrell within range now. 8 laps to go. We're going to have a fight right to the end here. We ride on board with Bobby Terrell as he stalks the O2 of Casey McMullen. McMullen's way down the track that time.
Yeah, he's trying to do everything he can to not give him any draft, but at the same time, that might be slowing him down because he's more focused. It's showing you he's more focused on the mirror, if you will, than out the windshield, and you're just seeing it right now. Bobby Terrell just making total gains.
Yeah, he killed him there through the tunnel turn, doing an excellent job. He is getting closer and closer. I mean, but don't count McMullen out, because McMullen, I have chased Casey McMullen around this track, and I can tell you, switching around those draft points helps immensely, and nobody better at it than Casey McMullen. Right now he stays in line as he's got a bit of a toe in front of him, and he's going to try and use every bit of it.
Yeah, he does have a toe, but you know what, that time Bobby Terrell 0.4 of a second better than Casey McMullen Sr. You know, it's only a matter of time, and this could be very important right now. You see the lap car going to the inside and drifting right back up in front of him. This could be very bad going into this corner.
What was that? I'm not sure why he would do such a thing, but that hurt both of our leaders. Bobby maybe did a little bit better, even though he had to stay on the inside. We got to fight it on our hands. 7 to go, 6 to go at the line.
You can just see the 4 Bobby Terrell able to hold that bottom better, a little bit better than Casey McMullen Sr. Is it faster through the corner at 3? It looks like it is, and that's really the biggest thing, because the difference in speeds down the straightaway are going to be huge. You know, 3 or 4 mile an hour, you know, just being able to get off of 3 is immense.
Look in on the 9 and the 44. Jason Martin, Claude Ferland doing battle. Ferland trying to get onto the podium. I mean, the 44 each and every week, Brad. It's a case of where did he come from or how did he do it. He ends up in the top 3 no matter where he starts.
Yeah, the 44 has been one of those really pleasant surprises this entire season. You know, continuing to do everything he can. Seems like he makes a bad night into a good night. And that's really what you got to do to be in contention. And he's one of those guys that, you know, you really can't even say he's an underdog going into the championship once we get there, because he's really proven himself to be a strong competitor with a great team really backing him as well.
We look ahead now. 5 to go. Bobby Terrell is there. He is right in that draft range. He will be all over the back of the O2 within a lap or maybe a corner. So the O2 going to have to do all he can to defend here. I don't know if he can do it or not. You know, there's nobody tougher than the 4 of Bobby Terrell.
No, there's really not. You know, I've been kind of watching them, and I don't even really know where the O2 is better than the 4 right now. You see the O2, you know, push a little bit on exit there. You see the 4 just a little bit better in control. We've watched it time and time again here in 3. The 4 is able to roll the bottom better and just really get through it better right now. The O2 going to be pulling up on some lap traffic. He's going to be right there on the 14 of Lane Allen. Right in front of them, you're going to have Sylvan Jolly right on the exit where he doesn't really want it. Having a juke to the bottom, it's not going to help him. The 4 is going to be able to draft right up on the back of those guys. Really, the 4 is going to be all over the back of them right now.
You see the O2 swooping out there, trying to get the best angle he can. He has got a mirror full of the 4, though. We are on 4 to go here for the race win in the Pocono 150. Incredible racing tonight, Brad, and this is going to come right down to it.
Yeah, it really is right now. It just seems like the O2's just got a little bit too tight right now. He's not able to really roll the center of the corner. The 4 doing exactly what he needs to do, putting a lot of pressure on the O2, filling that mirror, and you're really starting to see that right now as McMullen starting to drive a little bit more out of the rear view mirror than out of the windshield.
You see him trying to break that draft. He's doing a great job with that. I'm telling you, it works. The O2 knows it, and he's going to keep on doing it. He comes up late there, and that actually hurts the 4 as well, taking that air off the spoiler. Or the splitter, I should say. So close.
That's what you see right there. You got right here's where you got to be very careful. You can't let him get alongside of you going into this corner. You might be able to carry just enough speed to be able to drag race you into 3, and I think 3 is really where the 4 is better than the O2.
Yeah, it's hard to say. They're taking different lines, and it looks like the O2 trying to get a better run off, getting a little higher line, and he comes off a little straighter, and it kind of negates some of that draft for a little bit. You see the 4 is stronger through the corner, but on the direct exit, well, the 4 look real good there. They are going to drag race. The O2 going to protect that bottom here and try and break the draft. We're on 2 to go for the win.
Yeah, I got to agree with your assessment there off of 3. The only problem with that is I think where the O2 is stronger, he's not able to really use it because he's so worried about protecting on the 4s. The 4 is going to try to do the undercut. They're going to be...
Wow, the 4 to the inside. They're going to race through the tunnel turn. Almost contact here. The O2 going to give nothing, trying to pinch him down a little bit. They're going to race side by side through the tunnel.
Going into the tunnel turn.
My!
Going to pull a little advantage.
What a job by the O2 of Casey McMullen through the tunnel. He beats him on the high side. They're going to come down to the white flag here. It's McMullen and Terrell. Terrell to the inside. McMullen block.
Contact?
Oh, slight contact. Position to the 4 as he raced down in. The O2 going to pinch him down. Bobby just strong on the low side. The O2 trying to power off on the high side. I don't know if he's got it or not. They're going to drag race down to the tunnel. This is the last lap.
I just hope they come back in one piece here as they're really giving it all they can going into the tunnel. They're still side by side. O2 on the top side, the 4 on the bottom. Advantage, I think, is going to be the O2 on exit.
So hard to tell. Down into 3. Still side by side. The 4. Bobby Terrell, this contact. He's turned him. Bobby Terrell has turned the O2. And that was some hard racing. Great save by Casey McMullen. But Bobby Terrell going to come home. Your race winner here. He's going to take it in the final turn. McMullen 2nd. Martin 3rd. Ferland 4th. Sherwood Williford in the top 5. Oh my goodness, Brad.
At the end, it was a battle of inches and a little bit of contact, and that's all it took to get the O2 out of shape. The 4, Bobby Terrell, putting it down, a little bit of the chrome horn, if you will, and able to take this victory tonight.
Let's take another look at it. Here we go. We're coming out of the tunnel turn. The O2 gets a little bit better run on the outside. He was a little bit sideways, allowed the 4, and I don't know how to assess that. I don't think I'll try. We'll just watch it again here. You see the entry, the O2 coming down, the 4 just not down lower. It's not like he came up or anything. Very difficult situation. They're both racing as hard as possible, and what a great finish. I don't know, Brad. I don't know what else we can say here. That was some thrilling Pocono racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bobby Terrell here on the stripe, about to do some burnouts. Part of BT Racing, going to take home another race victory here in the Truck Series and open up that lead. Just a great job by the 4.
Just a battle to the end, and that's really what we want to see every single week. A lot of great racing. You hate to come down to inches like it did there. A little bit of minimum contact. We're not going to put it at anybody's feet, if you will, but just hard racing overall, and a great show.
I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, it's hard racing. It's the last corner, and both guys are pinching each other and trying to push each other up the track. Contact almost inevitable. Not an egregious thing, but definitely entertaining. Let's put it that way. Bobby Terrell takes the victory. Right now, let's take a short commercial break, and then we'll come back. We'll get interviews with these guys, and we'll find out what they think about it. Welcome back to Pocono Raceway, where boy, oh boy, did we have a finish. Just incredible action there at the end of the race.
Oh man, really it was. I mean, a great race overall. We had a couple of cautions early on, but these guys really did everything they can to put on a heck of a show in a very extremely difficult racetrack and a very hot racetrack at that.
Yeah, it was very hot, very slick. And right now, I'm down here with the number 9, Jason Martin, with a 3rd place finish tonight. Congratulations, Jason.
Dean, I'm more excited than you are, man. Let me tell you, it felt good to have a good run.
I don't know if that's possible. I get very excited up here, Jason, but I am really happy for you. It was a really nice run, but I'd be remiss if we didn't go back and talk about the early contact with the 26.
Yeah, I know. It's like me and Brian Helm have a magnet attached to us because every time we're racing around each other, I'm getting into him, he's bumping me, something bad's happening. And I apologized on track. I want to apologize now. I'm looking at it right now. Looks like a little net code. I'm not going to blame it on anything. The fact of the matter is, I didn't realize that he was inside of Coy at the time. I thought there was room, and I got inside him. If I'd have known he was inside of Coy, I would have never pushed my truck up in there. So it's totally my fault, and it's my mistake.
That does happen. I've had that happen myself. You think you're too wide, you're actually three wide. The guy doesn't go up the track enough. I mean, the net code thing, you know me, I'll never accept that. Contact was inevitable there, but it's not, it wasn't that egregious, especially with your explanation. Nonetheless, let's set that aside for a moment and talk about what a great run you had here. Third place tonight, one of your best finishes in recent memory, Jason. You talk about how ecstatic you are. I mean, it was just a great run. We watched a good part of your racing out there tonight. There was some really hard battles out there, man. And it was just talk a little bit about the draft and the battles that you had to endure there.
Yeah, it was white knuckle. I mean, being up there, and that just goes to the quality drivers in FTSRL because I don't find myself up there much. Uh, I was white knuckling it, not crazily, but I mean, the truck just drove good. I made a little small adjustment on the pits on that first pit stop. It got a little bit better, and probably didn't have anything for Bobby or Casey, but I think I definitely finished where I should have finished.
Well, you really don't know because clean air and getting out front is such an advantage to a point, the draft being big as well. But you were doing battle a lot, and we just couldn't be happier to see you up here on the podium again. What do you think, Jason? Is your confidence finally returning here? Are you ready to get up here and do battle on a weekly basis up here in the top five?
It is, honestly. I just need to clean up my driving and my racecraft because I've made some mistakes, and it's not a good thing to be getting into people. So I just need to clean that up, and I look forward to doing a hell of a lot better than I have before.
Well, as a therapist, I'll tell you the first step is admitting you have a problem, Jason. I'm just kidding. But no, it's very good to hear some humble attitude. We hear a lot of that around this league. And, with speed comes some of these problems. You start to get faster, you start to running up in the top 10 and top 5, and there's a whole nother level, and it takes some time. And I think, we're going to see you in victory lane right shortly, Jason.
Well, I hope so. I want to put the time in, and I want to make it happen. And I love doing it. So it's what I want to do.
All right, brother. Well, hey, big congrats on third place. You got any shout outs? Anybody you want to thank? Now's the time.
I do, actually. My girlfriend Valerie, who's maybe listening, she might not be, but for her letting me do this because she hates me doing this. And then, of course, Blackwater, 100%. Steve, I know you're listening. So I love my team and have a great time.
All right, Brad. That's the number 9. Jason Martin. Thanking the girlfriend, your wife. You've always got to do that.
Yeah, that's probably the best move of the night, if you will, from them, making sure you get that thing. But right now, I'm standing with, the O2 Casey McMullen Sr., Oh, Casey, man, just a heartbreaker, started off in the 4th position, running really good all night. Just kind of talk us through your night and ultimately, the decision to come down a little bit early, play a little strategy.
Yeah, the night went really well. I was just trying to keep my track position and move forward. It's really tough because you can lose a lot of time getting through the traffic. But I just had a couple cars to pass, so it worked out better that way. But man, I came in a lap early because I thought I was a little bit better on a long run, and I don't know if I got a little too excited, burned up my stuff, but I knew Bobby was going to be right behind me when we come to the end, so I was just trying to hold on to it, and then we had a great battle. Me and Bobby always racing in these trucks whenever I race. It seems like me and him are always battling, so it's really it's been fun.
Well, that's definitely a compliment to you. We've seen Bobby Terrell all season, put on a clinic, if you will, to some extent. So to sit there and to be able to sit here and say, every single time you're in these trucks, which you're not in these trucks full time, obviously, but when you are, you're up there battling for the lead and, right there amongst with Bobby Terrell and everything like that. It's got to really give you confidence, for when you do come back to the series full time or whatnot, to really be able to challenge for that championship, which in all reality, for missing as many races as you have missed this season, you're not that far out of that top 25.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm not really looking for the playoffs. So I just want to come out here and try to win some races. I don't have. I guess I haven't really committed to the series as some other people have. I just like to have a fun time. So I've been racing tracks I like.
Well, Casey, I wouldn't be doing it right if I didn't say, going into the last lap, you and Bobby you're trading positions, you're going into corners, you're doing the undercut on each other, you're side by side through the tunnel turn, you're going into turn 3. What happens going into 3 from your cockpit?
Well, I mean, it's racing, hard racing. I'm trying to pinch him low, and he's trying to get by me. We just come together there, and it's for the win. I haven't won in a long time, so I was going to make it as hard as possible to try to get by me. And man, we had a good finish. Either way, I think he would have had me. He had the inside line there because I think he just got a better bite down there. So I think he would have had me either way, but it was really a good battle. I really appreciate racing with Bobby, and good win to him. Congrats. Good run for the team. I think we had a really good week here with the trucks.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys really put on a good show. I can speak for myself and anybody watching. It was thrilling watching that battle the last 3 or 4 laps, right down to the checkered flag. And it's good to really see you up front. And, we sit there and we talk about how, you're the strategy guy in the past. You're the one that's going to run the tank dry and kind of hold back, if you will. It's really good to see you, qualifying up front, really challenging the entire time, and just really, putting the bit between your teeth, if you will, and just really going for it. And it's a breath of fresh air, and man, it was a great run. I'll just kind of turn it over to you, let you thank anybody you need to thank, but congratulations on a second place finish. I know it's not where you wanted to end up, but a great run overall.
Yeah, thanks to everybody here at the FTSR, you guys in the booth, the whole admin team, Brody Hanna, the owner. Thanks to my sponsors, Blackwater Products USA. Go check them out, give them support. And Steve Barry, he's our owner. And everybody on my team, they've done so well. We put a lot of hard work into getting these practices down, and we might not put as much as some other people, but we just out here to have fun. So good win, Bobby.
Absolutely.
And
that's the name of the game, is just having a good time with this. Go ahead, Casey.
And I want to say thank God. I don't want to leave that out.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate it. We appreciate having you on every week, and just your presence in the league. It's a good thing to see you guys out here having a good time. But Dean, you know what? That's the 0-2 of Casey McMullen Sr. Fortunately, a heartbreaker coming home in second place, but who came home with the victory. I believe that's the gentleman standing by with you tonight.
Yeah, I got the number 4, Bobby Terrell, winner of the Pocono 150. Congratulations, Bobby.
Thank you very much, man. How about that up there in that booth? Was that not some racing?
That's racing, Bobby. We love it. It was some of the best racing we've seen. Great strategy, great racing at the end. Let's start early, though. We'll get to the good stuff later. You're out there. There's a big battle for second place, really, on each restart. It allows you to get a bit of a lead. I know you're good and I know you're fast, but, talk a little bit about how good it is to get out there and get a little bit of a buffer to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Tim Bills was on the pole, and I was content to follow him and try, just save a little fuel. I thought we could make it fine on fuel, but I just wanted to save a little bit, and I knew I could if I drafted behind him. And then he hit the wall. I took advantage of it. I got into the lead and checked out a little bit. I'm trying to think. And then we had some cautions, but then on the restarts and stuff, I got a lead a little bit when they were battling back there. And then, like I said, Casey had a good truck. I mean, he reeled me in. I was a little bit tight that run, but I made, like I said, he pitted before me, and then I made one adjustment to try to free it up just a tick to where it would rotate the center a little better. And like I said, he had a 2-second lead, and I reeled him in. And I hated getting into him at the end. I mean, I've apologized to him several times. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
We're not there yet. Hold on. First of all, I got to shout out to Tim Bells because I forgot almost. I mean, you guys had such a thrilling finish and a thrilling battle. Little shout out to Tim Bells, who had a great truck tonight. And unfortunate there, that wall in two has bitten a bunch of people. But so you get out there now, Bobby, in that last run prior to the pit stop. Casey was reeling you in. We are keeping a good eye on it, and he was hunting you down. And then he decides to pit. Were you a little shocked that he pitted before you did?
Uh, Not really, because I mean, if I would have been in his position, I might would have done the same thing to try to, to see if I could make it a little adjustment and get it a little better, and try to get the track position. Because I stayed out an extra lap, and I was 2 seconds back, so I was a little cautious entering the pits too. But um, I knew when I got out there and the adjustment I made, I knew it was a little better, and I knew we only had 19 laps or whatever it was, and so I just went for it. I mean, those last 18, however many laps it was, I just drove as hard as I could.
Yeah, well, we rode on board with you for a few laps there, and we're watching you. You were obviously getting more bite, especially through the center of the corner. Were you a little concerned coming up, towards the end of the race that Casey seemed to be a little better at late off of three? And you were killing him in the middle, but he would get that little burst of speed on exit and kind of prevent you from getting into that big draft and getting to the inside.
Yeah, I mean, um, it's so funny because there were certain parts of the track that he would gain on me. I think he would gain on me in one, but then, like I said, after that pit stop, that's where I was gaining back on him at. We were pretty steady through the horseshoe, the dog leg, horseshoe, whatever you want to call it, turn two, and then and we were about. I mean, I thought we were about the same, in turn three. And like I said, when I started getting a sniff of his draft, I was like, yeah, this is on.
Well, you did get a sniff of his draft. You got beside him. Now he's on the outside for an entire lap. You guys are side by side, and I mean almost touching. He's riding you, he's pinching you down. You're trying to push him up, and you guys are doing a great job because you're both professionals and awesome at what you do. What a thrilling ride it was, and were you getting concerned? I mean, he got the lead back after the one tunnel turn. You had to be thinking, maybe I can't get this done. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure I could get him, or not. I was just going to give it a good try. I mean, I knew it would. I figured depending on how I tried to set it up, that uh, a drag race coming out of the last corner, I figured it would be hard to get him, because he was. I figured he would dive way to the inside to try to break the draft, and I would have to follow him, of course, and that would probably kill my momentum too.
Yeah, so we finally get to it. Well, the last turn there, we come in. I think it's just hard racing. He's trying to come down early and pinch you maybe a bit. You're just kind of, on your line, and contact happens. Thankfully, Casey saves it, and you come off victorious. We know there's nothing intentional there by any means, but it had to be thrilling slash a little. I'm sure you didn't want to get into him either, fault or not, and but nonetheless, you come home victorious, and I don't know, it's almost a little bittersweet, Bobby.
It is. I mean, I feel bad for Casey, but it's racing.
It
I
is.
mean, uh, I mean, who's to say that if he would have kept it a little higher and got the drive off like you were talking about, he might could have pulled me. I mean, we won't know. Um, and like I said, I just hated that we got together, and then after we got together, and I don't know if I can't remember if I spun a little bit too, and I know he spun a little bit, but just gathering it up, and it kills the momentum of these trucks. And I just thought to myself, Jason's just going to drive by us and win it.
He was close, I tell you. He was close. I mean, after Casey got loose, I think you kind of got him a second time to kind of straighten him out, almost to help him. And yeah, Martin was coming. He was right there. But it was one of the most thrilling races we've had in a long time, Bobby. You come out on top again, man. You're going to open up this points lead, and I mean, you're clearly in the playoffs now. You're going to have a decent amount of points going in. You got to be not only looking forward to this, but thinking about the competition you're going to have. It's going to be a thrilling playoff.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I've said before, when you have the playoffs, um, it's anybody's game. I mean, you can have one bad race, and that's the sad thing is you can have one bad race and pretty much take you out of it.
Well, it could happen. We don't expect that to happen to you, Bobby. We're expecting you to make it to the final and put on a show there. You guys put on one heck of a show. Congratulations again on the victory here at Pocono tonight. The floor is yours, brother. Anybody you'd like to thank or any shout outs you want to give?
Well, I want to thank you guys in the booth. Like I said, it takes me a few days to watch the replay, but I still watch it. It's y'all do so good covering us and stuff. So a shout out to y'all. I don't think y'all get enough credit for what y'all do. Uh, the admins for everything that they do with the league and giving us a place to race. I mean, if it wasn't for them, we couldn't do it. And then Blackwater's, products for sponsoring this series. There again, we probably wouldn't have a series if it wasn't for Steve and those guys. So uh, I just appreciate it. Thanks guys for the room out there. There was a few lap trucks that gave us a lot of room out there, and I really appreciate it.
All right, Brad, that's our race winner, Bobby Terrell. I'll second him by thanking Blackwater and Steve Barry. Great bunch helping us out. But what a thrilling finish and race and a great victory from Bobby.
Yeah, it really was. They did everything they can to make this race memorable, and right down to the end. And it's going to be very interesting. We're going to go from this week here at a 2.5 mile racetrack to next week. We're going to be at Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Mile, much different type of racetrack. But I got to sit there and think. Our main players are still going to be the same guys. These guys know how to wheel the truck week in, week out. They're going to work on their racecraft. They're going to work on those setups, and it doesn't matter what track we go to. There's some fast drivers here.
Man, is there ever? I mean, who would have thought, Brad, a season or two ago that, Bernard Person, Tim Bills, Zach McDaniel, these type of guys would be down in the points a little bit. I mean, any one of them, I mean, I was going to pick one, but those three in particular come to mind as guys that were at points seem unbeatable. I mean, Zach McDaniel absolutely dominated a series of races, maybe 6, 7 in a row. Tim Bills dominated almost an entire season. The talent level here is so great, they're struggling at times to be in the top 10. What a fantastic league Full Throttle Sim Racing has.
Yeah, it really is. And this season has been very different with the amount of different type of tracks. We got a lot more road courses in here, and we've also had a little bit of guys miss some races. Tim Bills, I think he's missed about 3 races so far this season. Zach McDaniel, he's missed 1 race, but Zach McDaniel's a good portion. Zach McDaniels was a dominant driver. He actually hasn't gone to victory lane this year, and that's one of the shocks to me. Is when you're taking somebody like a McDaniel's, 0 victories on the year. Troy Torgerson been close all season. Richie Coy, he's been up there all season. Some of these guys, they just haven't had that final victory and the checkered flag fall their way, but they're knocking on that door, and it's only a matter of time before it happens.
Absolutely, that is correct. So we're just struggling with the app there. We're going to update the points, but something has happened there, but we'll get that update in another time. Just a thrilling race. I mean, you had Jason Martin on the podium. Of course, the Terrell McMullen thing was fantastic. Ferland, again, in fourth place. Sherwood Williford, 11 spots into fifth. Coy's there. Carr recovers for up 11 spots on the night to seventh. Fruman with one of his best finishes. Kevin Rupert is up 15 spots into ninth. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I think I'll stop there, but great race and great races by a lot of guys.
Yeah, these guys are really starting to come into their own. You're really starting to see a pattern of the guys really starting to rise to the top. And this second half of the season is going to be very interesting. You got a lot of good tracks coming, and some of these guys are just starting to hit their stride.
Absolutely, they are. But that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, I think. And we'll come back to the Milwaukee Mile next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Can't wait for that action. Tune in tomorrow night, though. We've got the Kickin' Asphalt Cup Series, next gen cars. They're at Daytona. Or I might have that wrong. So tomorrow night we've got Liberty Racing in their league finale. That's going to be a fantastic show. Come in and check that out tomorrow. We got action all week long, so come see us. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Brad Patterson, that's going to wrap it all up. And we'll see you right here next time on Full Throttle TV.